Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch canvas. Crazy backdrop, I know, right? Is it a green screen? Is it not a green screen? It's not, trust me, they're real. We did a beautiful mountainous scene with a crashing wave and a full moon, and you're super excited to paint it. That's why you clicked on the link. Check the description down below. Find all the colors you need. Make sure you get your canvas nice and wet. Get ready to throw some paint on it. We're gonna do it just like this. Holy cow, guys, look at this backdrop. Where are we? I couldn't even tell you if I was allowed to, right? Special secret place.
Here's the setup for today with the brushes, palette, easel, bucket, and of course trash can nearby.
So we've covered our canvas in Bob Ross Liquid Clear. It's always strange doing a remote event in a place that's not my studio, right? So we're gonna put some base colors down. I'm gonna tell you what colors we have. Dark Sienna, Cad Yellow, Sap Green, Phthalo Blue, Alizarin Crimson, Midnight Black, and Titanium White. So we're gonna try to keep everything up here nice and close to the canvas so you can see what we're doing and try to paint a scene, right? So let's get a little bit of our crimson. Why don't we do that? I love a good crimson-y sky. All right, get a good bit of crimson on our brush, nice good amount, and we'll come up here in the top and we'll just put a little crimson up in this top corner and kind of drag it down just a little bit. Just the smallest little bit. All right, have that whole kind of top quarter covered. That's what we like to do. A little bit of top quarter action covered with that clear. Be fantastic. All right, why not? We'll take a little bit of that and reflect it in the opposite corner down below. So down here, we'll put a little bit of that red down in here. It doesn't have to be everywhere. We don't have to cover the entire canvas, and it doesn't have to be that whole kind of circle. We've left that little area down there, but I do like to have a bit of red kind of down in the base of our wave or the eye. It'd be really cool if we end up even painting a wave. Who knows what we're even gonna paint? Okay, we're gonna take a little bit of the blue, that phthalo blue, kind of stick it around beneath. There we go, beneath this guy over here. We'll go kind of put some of it in the way. This is kind of shaping up to be a seascape, it looks like. Just in the way that we're kind of putting these colors in. A little bit of that phthalo blue maybe up in the corner, just in case it wants to mix with any little bit of clouds or thing. It'll be this nice purpley color with that crimson. Maybe a bit more of the crimson over here. And we'll finish the rest of that with a little bit of blue. Kind of chuck that in around here. Now you can see it's very hard to see these colors. They're called transparent colors. They're kind of difficult to see when we're on a black canvas like this. Beautiful though when we go over them with our white paint. So we're gonna wash the brush. Nice and clean and ready to go. Always gotta dab it off on a paper towel though, right? Always gotta do that. All right, now that we have our base colors down, now we can play and we can have fun and we can watch stuff happen, right? I've showed you all the brushes that we're gonna use today, showed you all the colors. So let's go in, we'll grab up a little bit of titanium white just out on our brush. Just like that. You see I'm pulling it down. I'm trying to leave a lot of the color out here on our easel and not have all of it go up onto our canvas, right? Why don't let's do like a moon off to the side. I love doing these little things. A little bit of white. It's gonna blend with all that blue paint that's on there. So we're gonna clean off our brush. Pop back up nice and clean, right? Now we can take this white paint and sort of blend it out into a sort of an X shape is what I like to do. This cool little thing. Doesn't have to be the most perfect X, but just a little X, right? Something out there just to give us a little bit of detail around our moon. The one brush that we need, we don't have. We still left it in the pack. Bam! Filbert brush, right? Okay, we're gonna come back in, grab up a little bit of that white paint on our filbert. Nice and hard filbert. Here we go. Try to make it soft, right? Just a little bit of paint. Don't need a whole lot. Doesn't have to fill up the whole brush. The more you use, the brighter white your moon is going to be, right? And you can always go back and do it a few times. So we'll come up here, we're gonna push it flat and then just start to rotate it, right? Trying not to move the brush so the circle stays a circle, and you continue to spin until you're happy with it, and then just pull it straight away, just like that. I always end up getting a little bit. I think there's like a bristle up here that always causes me an issue. So let's go back this way. Maybe we'll go the other way. Oh, now we've moved the thing. Now we got to make our moon a lot bit bigger, right? We're going to start up here and rotate around just like that. You can see it. Rotate, rotate, rotate. There we go. There's our perfect circle. A little bit bigger than normal, but there it is. Kind of take that and swipe it away. Get any little bits we can get along the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be the same amount of whiteness, right? Fantastic, just like it is, just like that. Fantastic, look at that beautiful little thing. All right, we need some clouds up there though. Now, as we mix with our crimson and our blue, we're gonna have these beautiful kind of colors show up right on their own, right? Just again, just with some white paint. That's all we really need. A little bit of white paint in our life. And then as a backdrop to all these mountains, why don't we do this gigantic little bit of cloud? Look how it changed from blue to crimson in there, right? Add a little bit more of that white down in there, maybe over here. Just make a giant mess of it. That's all clouds really are. It's a big old mess of stuff, right? Which is why I never like being very careful with the clouds. Look at that, as you mix that crimson, the purpley areas, it's gonna come over into blue over here, kind of mix them together, leaving some areas light, some areas darker. Not trying to fill in all the holes, right? We don't have to cover everything. And the more and more that we go out with this brush, now that it has the smallest amount of paint on it, you get these clouds that kind of blend in with each other. You have a whole sky filled with just light and dark, beautiful little things. It's fantastic. Let's take a step back and look at it. That is amazing, right? Just by not overdoing it. That's all we really do. We didn't overdo what we were trying to do. If you overmix it, you get everything all the same color, and that's not what you want. So let's take a little bit more of that white, and we're gonna come around here, maybe highlight a little areas where maybe the moon is kind of catching, it's lighting up different spots, just with a little bit of mushed on whiteness, right? And you can kind of create your clouds. It's so funny, I just looked over at my light where my camera normally is, where the TV is at home, to try to see what it looked like, and then realized that I can't see much, right? Okay, very, very, very small little circles, because I have no TV over there. Small little circles that light it up very nicely, and then you just want to blend them into that darkness. Don't want to have super bright out here and then nothing back here, right? But we don't want it to be all the same color either. It's got to go back to that dark. So blend it, blend it, blend it until it looks right to you. And then you'll have a few areas that are really bright and a few areas that are a little darker, right? Yeah. Nice soft little bit of sky, very easily done too. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of energy. It takes a little bit of swipes with our brush and then we're good to go, right? Now, what if we did a little bit of liquid white? Get that, just a touch of liquid white, and we'll go up in here and start dropping in just a few little stars off in the distance. Different little things, right? Sometimes you want to be fast with it. You want to be random. You don't want to make a certain shape or a square or a diamond. You just kind of want to be random with it. So be fast. Boop, 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 boop. Different little things start to light up our sky, maybe through the clouds. Maybe you get a little bit of a bright one. It was way off back there, a couple over here. Little pops, little here, little there. Boom, just like that. Fantastic. Take our dry filbert brush. Maybe on some of these guys, we'll make them just a little softer, just a little more far off away, far in the distance. All the ones that I messed up on, those are the ones that I like to make nice and soft. What if we did a little shooting star right there? Just took him and took him away. He was there in an instant and then he was gone. Just like that. And we'll come up here and there's our shooting star, way off in the distance. Don't even want to mess with him. Just leave him just like that. It's fantastic. A little bit of softness to some of these. Some of them we keep a little bit brighter. Right, bam, bam, bam. Then we have all these little differences way off in our sky. Okay, let's take a bit of color. Why don't we scrape up some of this crimson and blue and make our nice purpley mixture, add a little bit of black. Right, we're just gonna mix that up into this, dark color. That's really all it is. It's a real dark, kind of black looking color anyway. There we go. All right, gonna wipe off the knife. And then we're gonna come up here. Let's take a little bit of white and mix that in because we don't want it to be so dark that we can't see it up against our sky, right? Just like that. Bam, bam, bam. A little bit more crimson for me because I like it a little crimson-y. A little bit more white. There we go, just until you can see it. You want it to remain dark, but you gotta be able to see it once it goes up here, okay? Now, maybe far off in the distance, we're gonna scrape up some of that blue and black and crimson, that dark blackish mixture. We're gonna save some of our clouds, but we have to lose some of them too. You can't have just a giant, you're never gonna see all of your clouds. It never works like that. Never gonna see them all. I'm gonna pull that down, maybe drop a little bit down here. We could go bigger if we wanted to, but we kind of want to keep these guys nice and far away and small for this little painting, right? Again, just taking that dark mixture, just rubbing it in any which way it's going to be. Now we can take our brush and we can start to shape it. And it's very hard to see until we start throwing some color on there, which is why we can add a little bit of white in different places. Right, bring it down, maybe it comes down there, maybe it comes over here, or it goes down this way. It's all about what you want yours to look like. Just like that. Don't have to have the sharpest peaks of your mountain. It doesn't have to look like any mountain you've ever seen before. You can literally have fun and play and mess around. I can even show you what the mountains sort of look like just by adding a little bit of white here and there and here, and then we can sort of have ourselves a guide about what we want it to look like, right? And if we did that, we'd start to see the mountains and how they're shaped, where they go, how they come down, right? Can you sort of see them now? A little bit more easily. We can come back and we'll make up some kind of shadowy color for our snow. So a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, changes it into this off-white, kind of very, very, very light blue color. So we need to add a little bit of darkness to it just to dull it down just a little bit. See that? Now it's not pure white, it's not pure bright blue. We're gonna take a little scrape of that and we're gonna mix it with our white over here. So you can see how much the colors change, how different they are, how much brighter they are, right? Look at that. Take all of that stuff, scrape it up over here. That's gonna be our highlights. These will be our shadows. Wipe off our knife, scrape up from our dark blue pile, and maybe on this side, and just start to pull it down. However it wants to live, right? Goes this way, goes that way, goes all sorts of ways. Just by kind of mushing it onto the canvas like that. And these are the shadows, right? You can go over and cover these and do whatever you want. Make little things happen, little ridges in your mind as they appear and disappear. You're like, ooh, maybe this guy shoots down like that, and there's a little bit of kind of bluish snow off to the side. And if you don't like that, you can always end up covering it. You really can, right? Maybe our snow goes over this way, and there's that ridge that we saw in that other, initially when we painted it. Now we can come back and grab up our lighter snow, right? It's gonna look very close to the color, but it's so much brighter that it's gonna show up that much easier, right? Just by pulling our knife straight down. Get these far away little snowy hills, and they don't all have to be the same, remember. They do not have to be the same, and they don't all have to cover. They don't all have to go the way that we intended them to go. You know what I mean? You mix a little bit in with the shadow over there. Maybe this guy comes down or he slopes over this way. You go back in, and this is where we start to play and have fun and see what happens when we do different things, right? That's starting to look really cool. Okay, I'm gonna scrape up the rest of our highlight color. We may need to make a little bit more. And remember, you don't have to highlight every bit of your mountain, right? So even though you got the moon lighting this up, maybe it gets real dark back here, or we leave just a little bit of darkness, right, as we're going down, because not all of it needs to be high lit, right? That's the deepest, darkest shadow of that mountain back there. So, come in, start to pull it out, leading it down to whatever is down here, forest, water, whatever it is. That's what we're doing. All right, now, opposite direction. We came down this way. We're gonna go up this way, make it nice and soft. Look at that. All right, back in here, very gentle, very gentle. You don't wanna drag anything like that. Make it hard to make it look right? Go up. Again, we went this way for this guy. We went this way for this guy. All depends on the way that you turn your knife. You have to do your brush the same, okay? Come down there, nice, beautiful little bit of mountain, far off mountain range. I wanna keep it nice and dark down here, and I do wanna do a bit of a wave. So let's wash this off. All right, wash that off. Make it nice and bright again. I'm gonna come back in with that white, our titanium white, on both sides, making it nice and sharp, right? Very sharp. And then we can come back in, and maybe off in the distance, there's a bit of water. And we keep it nice and dark down at the base of that thing back here. Very soft, small little bit of light, and you can see it's lighting up that crimson that's underneath it, which is fantastic. That's what we want it to do. Take our brush very lightly, pull it over to the side, making it nice and soft. Right? We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to kill all the color, but we do want to make it nice and soft. Okay, and then maybe we come in and there's a little bit of a crasher right here. Right, coming in. Might come down and crash onto the thing, so we got our bit right here. We can go back. Bam, like that. Take this guy, start to feed him back. We're gonna need to get some more white. But just to give you the idea, start to feed him back like that. Almost to that black line back there with very horizontal strokes. Don't need it to be super vertical or super to the side. Doesn't really matter. And you can see all the white still left on the brush, and you're only really using the tip. So you don't have to get it so filled with paint because we're only really using the tip of it. And once that tip is gone, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Just like that, right? Maybe the eye of our wave is in here. I like doing the eye before we do the shadows of the crashing wave because you want to hide some of the eye with that shadow. It helps. Let's take our 1-inch brush, very softly, very lightly, just allowing it to mix with the colors underneath, right? Whatever color we had put down there is what it's going to end up looking like. That's really cool. Could even use a little bit of far off oceany color back here since we decided to put the wave off in the middle. But you don't want to go all the way to the edge. You got to have a little bit of darkness out there, right, as our land or whatever we're going to crash onto happens. Why don't we switch to another brush and we'll come back into that darkish mixture just on the one corner of the brush. So rotate the brush over, then rotate it back this way just so it's on this one corner. And then we're going to come up here and start to dab in our shadowy splash on the way down, right? Just dabbing it up. So we get this nice kind of 45-degree angle on our splashing water. Now we can always go back in with our lighter colored brush and change the angle of that wave so it's a little bit farther, you know what I mean? You can always change it. And you want to have a pretty straight over pull. It doesn't want to be, you know, it doesn't have to be so round. The water is flapping over at us, right? So you want it to be rolling out towards the side of the canvas, down here to the bottom corner. That's at least where I want to have it. Always got to wash off the brush, keep it nice and clean. Okay, now we have all this stuff. We can start to shape this bit of eye. We're going to end up down here is going to be the edge of our wave. So what are we going to put onto the side? A little bit of splash coming up. We could do all sorts of stuff. All sorts of things. We could have giant rocks back in here. A little bit of splash in between them. Why don't we do that? Put a little bit of rock back here, right? Just to kind of hide where the water comes in. Don't even have to finish it all the way down. You really don't, because we're going to have a big bit of splash in front of it. Now it kind of covers that area where the water was. Can't tell what's going on over there. Why don't we throw a little bit of brown and we can start to light it up with brown in here, just on the back side of the rock, just a little bit of shadowy brown. Take our white, a little bit of that same brown, not too much white though. We want it to stay kind of dark. See that? We don't need it to be so super bright. And again, it's going to look different compared to the brown that's on the rock right here in the back of it anyway. And that's our little shadow, just as simply and easily like that. All right, now what are we gonna do? We're gonna take this, a little bit of our dark, and we're gonna come up and just start making circles, just like we do with our clouds. Nice and just bunch of spray. Kind of covers over, fills in that area, hides a little bit of our rock, because we don't really need all of it. And that's a cool little thing, just like that. Okay, let's take our white brush, our lighter colored brush here. Come back in just very down to the corner, right? They don't have to be so rounded. If they don't all look the same amount of roundness, if they're not all the same angle, it's gonna look strange. Okay, now back in here, I wanna get a little bit of liquid white on the brush. Just a little bit of liquid white, gonna go into our white over here, our kind of whitish color. And then just with the corner again, on the very top of the shadow, I'm not trying to cover the whole shadow. Just coming down, bouncing up, and rotate over. Popping it in different places though, we don't need to see the whole thing. And then over here, we just start to come up, hide some of that rock back there, hide some of the shade. Grab our 1-inch brush and just very, very, very lightly, just like we're making a cloud, very lightly mix that in, just like that. And come back with that liquid white and just pop in a few little splashy highlights that aren't kind of mixed in yet. It's very cool. Bit of stuff. The water, you can never guess what it's gonna look like, what it's gonna do. So just make it a mess, right? That's what I do. Just make it a giant mess, Joshy. All right, now let's take our brush, give me the littlest bit of this white brush. I'm gonna start to pull the angle of our waves, right? Pull them down this way. And then as we get towards our eye, now we're gonna start to do our rounded shape. Because it's gotta look round in there. All right, so in here, and then everything else, we're gonna start just pull out flat, right? So about there, start doing our rounded shapes, get inside the eye, and it's gonna look very cool. Take a little bit of our liquid white, come back up in here, mix it in with our titanium white and everything here, and come back, start to scrape it, just like that, not a whole lot, right? Start to feed these guys up, and then these guys really start to get fed up into the wave like that. All that foam is lovely, look at this. All right, take our bit of liquid white, our titanium white, drag it all the way out to wherever you think your water might reach as it's coming in. Pull it down very softly, just like this. Swipe it back up into your wave, right? Leaving this nice, soft little blue bit of reflective wet sand. Swiping it up into our wave, leaving it nice and dark. And then again, we have to come back in, add our line, our water line. Doesn't have to all be the same, right? Nice little wet bit of water. Just like that. Last little bit of liquid white. We can start to shape it up as the foamy bits of our wave are pulled out almost upside down like we're doing a mountain. Just like that. Keeping it nice and dark though, down where it needs to be dark. There we go. That looks nice. A little bit, one more little pull just to have this area be a little bit brighter than that area back here, right? And now we're gonna come back with a little bit of dark color and put in the base of our wave again. All that water's gotta sit on something, right? A little bit of shadowy foam as it's being sucked back in. So you don't need a whole lot of paint, and it doesn't all have to be the same. We always say that, doesn't have to be the same. But you want a little bit of darkness for your light to sit on top of. And sometimes we do it wrong, or we do it incorrectly, or the way that someone else does it better, or whatever. But we want just a little bit of darkness for that wave to kind of ride on. Fantastic. Phantasmic. And again, it doesn't even all have to be in the same spot. You can even have one out here in the middle of nowhere. A little bit of darkness, right? Very cool little painting, you guys. Very cool. Kind of mix where our water and splash come down and hit. That's very neat. Again though, don't let it get too bright. Gotta have a bit of dark back there. A little bit of shadow where it's coming down and smacking onto the ground. That's very cool. Okay, why don't we take our other little brush, little micro liner or micro fan brush, and we'll come up here and just pop it in, start to create our little bit of splashy wave as it's going over. A little bit of this, right? We'll start to pull these guys down. You gotta remember, connect these angles. So if it's going up this way, make it come down that way. If it's going up this way, make it come down and connect. All right, then off to the side, it's much flatter over there. See what I mean? Much flatter. I like to make them nice and soft, but again, your angles are most important. You can't go do something and then come back and just straight across with your brush. It's not gonna work like that. There we go. I had an idea before, maybe we could try it on this one, of doing like a bit of foam that's kind of going back with the waves. It's riding on top of the waves. right? Just by pushing our knife, adding that little bit of foam mixture onto the top. It might change it and change the way that it looks, right? And some of these guys a little higher up because they're getting turned and pulled in. And then we have our bits that are off to the side, and that'll make sense why there's more bits on the top that are going back. But again, our angle is the most important thing in this whole painting. What if we did the wave with a knife? Never done that before, just something to try. Makes it look a little different, right? It maybe gives you more bits so you could pull down. And just more little details and little differences, little things that help make it look round, right? That's the goal, to make it look like it's a rounded thing. When you and I both know it's a flat thing. Here we go. I like being a little bit of shaky-handed on the way out. A little bit of mixing up in here. Trying to keep that dark line as well. If you lose that dark line, you can always go back in. Put it back in. That darkness is key to making the wave look round. Okay, without the dark shape, then it just looks flat. A little bit of white as our wave starts to crash over. Maybe we get a couple little bits of water kind of shooting down, coming down and hitting before everything else. Let's see if we can make them look like that. Cool little thing. You won't know if it's coming down or if it's in the back of the wave. Back in there. Either way, that looks pretty neat. And always remember, if you took a ball and you dropped it onto the waves, it would suck itself back up and then roll over, right? You have to remember that. Gotta remember that. It makes it easier for me anyway to remember it like that. And that's very cool. It's a very cool little painting in a short amount of time, guys. Short amount of time, so it's not gonna take you all day. And it's gonna look fantastic by the time you get done. A couple more stars. I love stars. Especially, I never know how far we're gonna go down with the mountains or with anything, so having a few little extra stars in there is never a bad thing, right? All right, well, I've got a mountain of brushes to go clean up, and then this whole setup to take down and go move somewhere else and maybe do another painting somewhere else in the next few days, right? So we'll see. If it turns out well, then you'll see it on my channel. If not, then we never spoke of this, right? We'll never speak of it again. But no, it turned out fantastic. I really like that. Let's see. I'll take the smallest little bit. As you know, the painting's not finished until we add in the family. So let's do that. And little Bailey over there. Oh, my little pumpkin over here, right? Yeah, just like that. Very cool. Very cool little painting, guys. So I really hope you try this one. I hope you enjoy it and try it out and see where it takes you. And, you know, practice your mountains, practice your waves, and end up with something really neat. Like that's the fun part about it for me anyway. There we go. Didn't like that little signature. So let's do it again. Maybe less paint this time, Josh. There we go. Bam. So yeah, can't wait to see your version. Can't wait for you guys to send it in. And until we see you guys next time on Wednesdays or Sundays or Friday night freestyle, Sunday seascapes, Wednesdays when videos like this come out where we're super in-depth and detailed and fun. Until we see you again next time, you guys take care. Have the rest of a good day. Hey guys, welcome back to... Chop that whole section out, Josh. Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch canvas in a random, totally crazy backdrop, right? It's stupid. Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch black canvas, full moon, soft clouds, giant mountains, crashing waves, soft sandy, reflective sandy beach. Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch black canvas, gorgeous full moon, soft clouds, mountain in the distance, crashing wave, soft sandy beach. Oh, it's fantastic. Hey Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch black canvas, beautiful full moon, clouds in the sky, far off mountains, giant crashing waves, soft sandy beach. It's fantastic. You obviously think so. That's why you want to paint this painting. That's why you clicked on the... One more time. Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch black canvas, gorgeous mountains, sun... Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch black canvas, gorgeous full moon, soft clouds, giant mountains, crashing waves, soft sandy beach. It's fantastic. You obviously think so. That's why you want to click. Okay, I think that's good enough. 31 minutes.